All right, welcome back to the channel. So Bob Arum comes at us with a fresh new pipe dream about Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. But if that there is not the pipe dream is the fighters that he says that Terence Crawford may fight if the fight with Manny Pacquiao doesn't take place. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Bob Arum is selling us a bill of goods. That's my opinion, but what's new with that? The top-ranked promoter who has not really been able to make any fights for Terence Crawford so far in his career that I would say are career-defining fights, says that he is the first guy in line for a fight with Terence Crawford is Manny Pacquiao, right? Absolutely, we'll talk about that. But then the other part of it is that he says if Manny Pacquiao fight is not going to happen, then he names several other fighters that he believes would the other line of potential opponents for Terence Crawford. Now, what he says specifically is he says that if Terence Crawford, by the way, Terence Crawford is the WBO champion and welterweight champion, and Manny Pacquiao is the WBA super welterweight champion. So the combination of those two guys fighting would be for a unification fight at 147 pounds, which would make them, whoever the winner is, along with Errol Spence, hold all of the major belts at welterweight. So a fight with Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford would be a great fight. Well, for the sake of figuring out what it is, solidifying and determining exactly who is the champion at 147 pounds, something we have not had for a long time. In fact, I don't know who the last undisputed 147-pound champion was. It has not been at least since, I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't know if Oscar De La Hoya was ever an undisputed champion, or if probably since maybe Felix Trinidad after he beat Oscar De La Hoya, because at that point that would consider, those two belts at that point in time, the WBA, I think it was the WBA and the WBC were the ones that were considered the major championship belts. At that time, I do believe that was before the WBO was considered it, or the IBF was really considered it. So maybe, it hasn't been there hasn't been an undisputed since maybe Felix Trinidad, after they had that unification fight between he and Oscar De La Hoya. So it might be that long. I know that Floyd Mayweather Jr. was never the undisputed champion at 147 pounds, even when he beat Manny Pacquiao, because that did combine several of the belts. But I believe that Keith Thurman was a champion at the same time. So, but anyway, that would just get us one fight away for a fight that could be undisputed. Now, Errol Spence Jr. is also in that equation, trying to work towards that. He has two of the belts, and he's trying to fight Manny Pacquiao as well. Now, the reason why I call that a pipe dream is, one, Bob Arum probably ain't even asking for that fight. I don't believe it. If he is, I think he's just using that as something to talk about, to keep Terence Crawford's name going. Maybe somebody asked him about it, because he has been saying for a little while now that they were in conversations with Manny Pacquiao to make the fight. But that's just that's just Manny Pacquiao talking, okay? I mean, that's just Terence Crawford talking. Now, I know that because that's what you would hear of what was the fight that Terence Crawford was supposed to look spectacular in order to get a fight with Manny Pacquiao. I think it might have been maybe it was the Hank Lundy fight. But anyway, he winds up knocking a guy out, and HBO at the time was pushing, that this is going to be the fight to see if Terence Crawford is ready for a Manny Pacquiao fight, right? And that was several years ago. We've been there, done there with that. Also, been there, done that with that. So also, Bob Arum himself had been saying at one time that the reason that the fight didn't happen was because Manny Pacquiao didn't want the fight. And then later on, he says, well, it really wasn't that Manny Pacquiao didn't want the fight. It was that I thought that Manny Pacquiao was going to get hurt, and I didn't want to make that fight for Manny Pacquiao. Neither did, one of my matchmakers. So, it just, he flips back and forth about why that is. Now, Manny Pacquiao this is my thing. I don't believe Manny Pacquiao is going to fight Terence Crawford because I don't think Manny Pacquiao thinks he can beat Terence Crawford. And I don't think Freddie Roach thinks he can beat Terence Crawford. I don't think he can beat Terence Crawford. I don't see it happening. For him to go out like that against Terence Crawford, I think that it is probably more realistic. The rumors about Gennady Golovkin are probably more realistic than the Manny Pacquiao Terence Crawford fight, because Gennady Golovkin, he's kind of in a no-lose situation with Gennady Golovkin. He can go for his spectacular fifth, whatever it is, or no, I'm sorry. Some people would say it was his ninth division, right? So he'll go for a title in his ninth. It's a lot of divisions, but it's really 7. And for you guys that always say, no, it's not. Look, Manny Pacquiao fans, go to BoxRec and go look and see what title he had at 140 pounds. If you don't see the WBA, the WBC, the WBO, or the IBF next to that fight with Ricky Hatton, his only fight at 140 pounds, then he never won a belt there. Now, you'll see something that says the IBO, but that is not a major championship belt. Who cares? Okay, you could start adding other additional belts to people's records that won the NABF. Okay, it doesn't work like that. But he's won, and also the Margarito fight was at 152, not at 154 pounds. It wasn't at the 154 pound limit. So even though there was a belt on the line, the guy that he fought wasn't able to fight at that weight class. They made up a weight class for that to take place. So anyway, that's why it would be 7 weight classes. And also, to my Manny Pacquiao fans that want to tell me that you need to add some between 105 and 115, sorry, if you don't actually fight in the weight class that you don't and win the championship does not count. Okay, Roy Jones Jr. won the light heavyweight title and he went to heavyweight. You do not count cruiserweight as a championship for Roy Jones Jr. because he never fought at the weight. So the same thing goes for Manny Pacquiao. I had to put this, I made sure I put that commentary after you guys left all those messages, I was gonna make sure I put that message in my next Manny Pacquiao video, and this was one. Then this is it. So get off my back about that. He's got championships in 6 divisions right now, and he's looking for the 7th. And he honestly has just as good a chance of beating Gennady Golovkin as he does Terence Crawford. Right? So you might as well. There's at least a chance that Gennady Golovkin might be too slow, and if you can sucker him down to a weight. By the way, that's what Freddie Roach wants to do. Freddie Roach said that he would fight Manny Pacquiao at a catch weight. Manny Pacquiao would fight Gennady Golovkin at a catch weight. So yeah, if you could get Gennady Golovkin to do a catch weight fight at 154 pounds or something like that, you let Manny get as strong as he like, and you drain Gennady Golovkin, yeah, there's, things can happen. Things can happen. But Terence Crawford, that thing ain't happening, dude. Now, the other portion of this is interesting. The people that he said if and when, because it's really when the Manny Pacquiao fight doesn't happen, he says that he would look then to Keith Thurman, Shawn Porter, Yordenis Ugas, or Kell Brook. Now, here's the pipe dream with that. Keith Thurman already said no go because that's the WB no belt. He doesn't want to fight him because he has the opportunity to fight. He would just as soon fight 2 guys that he already beat in Danny Garcia or Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter has already said that the money's not there. You, Bob Arum, said that the money's not there. What is the difference between right now and back 4 months ago when you said that there wasn't enough money for the fight? Nothing, right? No difference whatsoever. I hope you can't hear this alarm go off that somebody's letting go off next to my window. But there's nothing that has changed in that regard. There's nothing changed. Now, Kell Brook, that's what I think more than likely that you can get. I don't believe for anything that you're going to be able to get something better than a Kell Brook. It's going to be right along the Amir Khan, right around the Amir Khan level of fighter. So, nah, man, Bob Arum is blowing smoke about the Manny Pacquiao thing. He's blowing smoke about everybody on that list except for maybe Porter. And now Ugas, if that could happen, I think that the money situation could be good for Terence Crawford and Ugas. And I certainly hope that fight happens. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.